Wade is on Facebook. Dave, is there a book on mutual funds for dummies that you would recommend? The best investment book that we have out is Chris Hogan's Retire Inspired book, and I would recommend that to you highly. It's a #1 bestseller, and it goes into pretty good detail. You can always look for more, but it just depends on how much you're wanting to comb through the process. I do not know of a single book other than that goes into the absolute nerd level breakdown on mutual funds to teach the details about it. I will tell you that what I've learned over the years from having invested for 30 years now, 35 years now, that the vast majority of what mutual funds, of the money that you make in mutual funds, is #1, because you actually put money in it. There's a lot of people with a lot of theory. There's a lot of people that sit around and talk about stuff over a cup of coffee, and they have a lot of opinions, but they get paralysis of the analysis, and they never do anything. The actual investing of money is what causes investments to grow more than anything else. The second thing that I spend the vast majority of my time, other than actually doing it when it comes to investing, is I look at the rates of return over a long period of time. And, there's a couple ways to measure that. There's CAGR, which is the compound formula, or there's a simple formula that's just the average annual return over a period of time. And you can look at the average annual S&P, which is a Standard & Poor's 500, if you're buying good growth stock mutual funds, and you want to beat that. You want to buy a fund that has a higher average annual than the S&P over the given period of time that you're looking at. And so if you've got a fund that's been open 30 years, has it beat the S&P on average for 30 years? And the average annual return is enough to tell you that. And if you want to compare two funds, one against the other, on how they've done in the same period of time, you can compare it on average annual return. And the CAGR is a little bit more sophisticated way of looking at it, but it's irrelevant. The reason it's irrelevant, the differences are irrelevant, is, again, if you pick a fund that's outperformed the S&P and you actually freaking invest in it, that is enough knowledge right there to cause you to be a millionaire. That's what all the data tells us. And so all this other hair splitting and analysis and details of did the S&P average 11.6, and then the average annual, and then the CAGR is 10.7, yeah, or whatever. So what? You freaking nerds. You get so much paralysis of the analysis that you actually do nothing. Now, I'm not saying that is you in particular asking about a book for dummies. That's a different thing. But what you have to be aware of in the open market is the people that are drawn to the financial services world are math people. They love math. I'm a math person. I love math. And I caught myself for many years getting caught up in over analysis. I was spending so much time analyzing, I was doing nothing. And people get paralysis of the analysis. And a lot of people in the financial world do the same thing, and they will spend an immense amount of their life with their head stuck up their butt trying to figure out something. It's unbelievable, instead of actually doing it. The ones that we talk to, these millionaires on this Millionaire Theme Hour, I'm a teacher, Dave. My husband is an engineer. My wife is an engineer, and I'm a teacher. And we've invested in our 401k. Were you concerned about the difference between CAGR and average annual? What's that? What's your net worth? $4.2 million. What's that? What's the difference? They don't even know. Did you look at the expense ratios on the mutual fund? Did you look at the 12B1 fees? What's that? They don't even know. They have $4.2 million. Meanwhile, Mr. Capital Nerd over here with two nickels to rub together can give you every analyzed breakdown of everything that's ever happened inside of a mutual fund and never did anything. and has $100,000 to his freaking name. But the guy who just actually did it and picked decent growth stock mutual funds that outperform the S&P, which are everywhere, by the way, they're the ones that become millionaires. They don't get paralysis of the analysis. So all of that to say, I hadn't really thought about it before, but I probably will never be recommending a book on the details of a mutual fund because I don't care. And the data says you shouldn't either. The data points of millionaires, not broke people with analysis skills, but millionaires, and for that matter, multimillionaires, are people who actually do something with their money to invest it to cause it to win.